The bond a man shares with his dog is something truly special. There's nothing that can ever separate them, and this is why people have such a difficult time when their dog is lost or hurt. The story that I am about to show you is heartbreaking, but fortunately, it has a happy ending. The man we are seeing in this picture is Barry Gearhart, and that is his dog, Titan. The two have been together for a couple of years, and they are just like family. Sadly, Titan got lost and Barry couldn't seem to find him anywhere. Barry was searching for his Pitbull for more than 1 year now, and he was getting desperate. The man even put up a reward of $1,000 for whoever finds him. Barry is saying that his dog is not actually lost because he was stolen. Barry searched everywhere, but he couldn't find his beloved Titan. Luckily, fate would smile on Barry, and you won't believe where he found Titan. Barry went through all the rescue centers around his local area, and he was left out of options. This is when he started to scroll on Facebook, looking at pictures of Titan, trying to remember how happy he was when Titan was around. To Barry's surprise, he spotted something which will help him find Titan. As Barry was scrolling through Facebook pictures, he spotted a comment where someone said that a dog who looks just like Titan is in a nearby shelter. He couldn't believe his eyes. The dog he was searching for more than 1 year was right next to his home. Could this be true? The person who commented on the Facebook photo said that the dog who looks like Titan is named Hank and that he is in a nearby shelter. Barry didn't want to waste any more time and started getting dressed to leave immediately. Barry was reminiscing about the good times he spent with Titan, and without giving it any second thought, he went straight to the shelter. The next picture will show you how Barry found Titan, but we have to warn that it's heartbreaking. Titan was held in a cage and he was terrified. This is the first picture that Barry took of Titan. Even though the poor Pitbull was in a cage and he was terrified, Barry was happy to know that he is alive. You won't believe what Titan did next. The dog instantly recognized Barry and started barking. It was his way of calling for help. How do you think Barry reacted to this? Barry couldn't hold his emotions, and after seeing Titan, he started crying, and he couldn't believe that he finally got lucky and found his long-lost dog. After a while, Barry started talking to Titan and the dog calmed down. This was an incredible moment to see, but it pales in comparison with what happened next. Barry didn't waste any time and took Titan to the car. As we can clearly see, this was the happiest ride home ever. You won't believe what the people at the shelter told Barry. It seems like Barry made it just in time to save his canine best friend because the people at the shelter already decided to put Titan down. To make things even worse, the reason why they wanted to put Titan down will break your heart. The reason why Titan was about to get euthanized was that the people at the shelter just didn't have enough room to keep him there. Luckily, Barry came just in the nick of time. Titan is now safe and happy. Barry took him straight home because he knew that Titan needed to get some rest after being stuck in that small cage for so much time. After spending 1 year in a steel cage, Titan was finally able to get some good sleep. Barry says that the first thing his dog did after getting home was to jump into his bed. Isn't this adorable? Barry is never going to leave Titan out of his sight, and he will be extra careful whenever they go for walks. He lost him once and he doesn't want that to happen again. Just look at how happy Titan looks now that he is reunited with his canine friend. I bet that Titan will not leave the house alone again. Barry knows that Titan didn't get to eat tasty food while he was at the shelter, and he makes sure to give him a burger and a hot dog every now and then. All that matters is that the two are back together and that Barry managed to save Titan just in the nick of time.
This story was really incredible, but you will like the next one more.
After her owner died, this old dog was left at a shelter, but then a mysterious man showed up on a motorcycle. At the sweet old age of 18 julep, the dog found herself in quite the unexpected predicament. Locked in a cage at an animal shelter, she didn't understand why she was there. Not only had she been the perfect companion to her owner for 18 years, but after the death of her owner, it seemed like her chances of ever finding a new home seemed slim to none. That is, until a man on a motorbike turned up at the shelter. Our story begins in February 2017, where poor Julep found herself alone in a cold animal shelter. A beautiful senior girl, she had been dropped off under the most grim of circumstances. You won't believe what this poor girl has been through. After Julep's owner unexpectedly passed away, she didn't have anywhere to go. Not wanted by her owner's family, they decided the best thing to do was drop her off at an animal shelter. We feel so bad for poor little Julep. Julep was taken to the Humane Rescue Alliance in Washington, D.C. in commission for over 100 years. The shelter had helped thousands of animals find new homes. However, they'd never had a case like Julep, who was the oldest dog they've ever had at the shelter. The shelter's communications officer, David M. Smith, had this to say to people. Julep is a sweet girl who, given her age, is doing pretty well here at our adoption facility. We're keeping her spirits up, and she's getting lots of attention from our staff. But a dog at this age truly needs to be at home where she can get all of the attention. Although Julep was in her prime, she still was active and loved to live life to the fullest. According to the rescue group, she simply needed a new start and a couch to sleep on. Would anyone come to Julep's aid? When the rescue posted Julep's story to social media, it touched the hearts of thousands. As people shared her story, hundreds of people shared her plight with the hopes of finding her a new home. Unfortunately, the staff at the shelter didn't hold out much hope for Julep to be adopted. According to the shelter's director, despite how kind Julep was, most people weren't looking for senior dogs. It usually took them quite a while to be adopted. Unknown to Julep, her shot at a new life was possibly close. Washington, D.C. native Wayne Lurch was currently grieving as well. His sweet pit bull Jasmine had died recently, and after 11 years, the void it left in his heart was too much to bear. According to Lurch, he stated, "I had Jasmine for about 10.5 years. She was just such an amazing dog, a 60-pound pit bull that thought she was a lapdog. She was probably the hardest dog for me to lose." Not really searching for a new dog quite so soon, Lurch stumbled upon a social media posting about Julep. Touched by her plight, he decided to go visit the shelter the next day to meet her. Lurch wasn't sure he was ready to replace Jasmine just yet, so instead of taking his car, he drove his motorbike to the shelter so he would have time to think. He didn't want to make any quick decisions. However, the moment he met Julep, all rational thought went out the window. He knew she was the dog for him. Not one to ask many questions, Lurch immediately went home to get his car. Julep's life was finally about to turn around, and even better. She only had to spend a month at the shelter. Her happy ending was in sight. According to John Tolley, one of the spokesmen for Humane Rescue Alliance, there wasn't a single dry eye in the room on the day Julep went to her new home. We see a lot of happy endings and try not to get too emotional, but the combination of her age and Wayne's obvious adoration for his new old lady left us in tears. After arriving in her new home, Julep received a name change. Lurch decided to name her Tootie after his grandmother. It didn't take long for Julep to get used to her new name, and soon she felt comfortable in her new home as well. According to Lurch, meeting Julep helped him overcome the death of Jasmine. Believing the right dog comes at the right time, he knew that Tootie was the one the minute he saw her on Facebook. Despite Tootie's age, Lurch plans to make every single day count for his new partner in crime. I know she's not going to be around for very long, but that's okay. She deserves to live out the rest of her life in a loving home with somebody who's going to take care of her and pamper her and make sure that she enjoys the last bit of life she has. Even though Tootie has found her happy ending, there are still many other senior dogs waiting to find homes. Despite being out of the puppy stage, that doesn't mean they aren't in need of a loving home. Most senior dogs are quiet and less work due to already being housebroken. Thankfully, we know Tootie is going to live out her golden years surrounded by love and all the treats she can eat. However, for the other senior dogs currently in shelters, a happy ending is not a guarantee. Don't they deserve a couch to sleep on and never-ending treats too?